Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and energy transference. So let's jump in. When you're with a narcissist, what they need for what we call supply or fuel, a lot of it is energy. There's other things that are fuel, but what brings the fuel sometimes may be other things like money. With money, you can buy fuel, you can buy supply, you can buy sex or anything to get transference of fuel. The greatest way that the narcissist gains fuel very quickly is when they have sex, because they can have the ability to project all of their negative energy onto you while you are in the act and you're wide open. A lot of times that's why you feel so bad after having intercourse with somebody that they're a narcissist, and you may not know why at that particular time, and then they will leave, and then you'll wonder why you are reaping such a negative harvest almost overnight. It's because what they do when they are performing intercourse is they're dumping. They're able to project and to dump all of their negative energy, all of what they feel, and all of what they are doing that's sinful, or that negative energy, and all of that, what they believe, that whole vibration appeal, they can dump it into you, and they can walk off with you, with your energy. And a lot of times what you'll find is, if, for instance, you were to meet a narcissist, the major part of the love bomb phase is to get you comfortable with them, to love and to trust them. And the beginning of the love bomb phase is sex. And then shortly after, they will continue sex. This will give them the ability to continually transfer that energy. When you're with a narcissist, if you're raised up above them on a different vibration, say they're down here and you're up here, that's what we call in the world and in the church, they call that equally yoking, because you're on different vibrations or wavelengths, because we all vibrate. Everything is energy, and energy moves, and energy vibrates. It vibrates and it moves. And when you are at different levels, then what has to happen is there's got to be some sort of equalization. So what ends up really happening is they pull you down and they go up. So it's kind of a simultaneous thing, to where you're going to meet in the middle, but they're going to benefit from it in the initial, and you're going to lose. You're always losing as the empath, or a source of supply. And anytime that you play this game, because they're playing a game on you, it is a game. And when you start to wake up to this, that's one of the first ways that you can define it. You're trying to live life, and they are playing a game. They look at this like it's a game, because that's how your intuition kind of hands it to you. And it's true, because it's coming, your intuition's coming on board real nice, because you've been through the betrayal and the pain and the hurt and the lying and the cheating, and it woke you up. And so these are you'll get some instinctive words and sentences that may come to you, maybe in somewhat of emotions that you transfer into thoughts, and it's gonna be an explanation of you can't give somebody the benefit of the doubt. You can't love somebody to death and fix them, and you can't, for that matter, fix anybody. And if you can't have boundaries for some, and then somebody that you may like more, or like the idea of more, you give them preferential treatment and you lower their boundaries for them. But the boundaries are for everybody. They're not just for certain particular people and not for others. And in my case, that's where I kind of went wrong. When you like an individual and you like the idea of them, you have a tendency, if you don't have emotional self-control where it should be, and emotional discipline. And anytime that you react and you're dealing with the narcissist and you end up getting in reactionary ways, and they get you in your heart, telling your mind what to do, then you have more emotional discipline. Of course, now this all comes because of the way you were groomed and you hadn't woken up yet. And they also are a master manipulator. So those three things are the causes for what happened to you. So you're innocent, but when you wake up, you have to make change. Change is what gets you to repent, right? That repent is kind of like to change. That's to make change. So maybe look at it from that standpoint, because you're kind of doing different things when you wake up. You most definitely are repenting, but for things that were unbeknownst to you. So you can operate in let's say this, you can be taught to operate in an evil way thinking that it's okay. And until you get more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and it could be through folly. If you are a truth seeker, you can, a lot of times, you will get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through failing. But at least you wake up and learn and grow. See, the narcissist can't do that. They're stuck in arrested development. And when you are evil and you think down the road of evil, you cannot grow. In fact, if anything, a lot of times you are made worse, because what we consider growth is goodness and is along the terms of righteousness. When these guys grow, they grow to be more manipulative and to master their craft, which makes them increasingly lower of a value. And so they only hurt themselves because the shame and the feelings that they have, the hate and the anger and the rage, all of the decisions that the narcissist makes, it always makes them devalued more. And they will never see it, but they are truly their own worst enemy. And they just don't at this point in time, don't have the ability to see it. But energy transference happens more than when they get you on their level. They are able to really have an effect on you. So you build them up a little and you come down to meet them. This would be what we call in medical terms homeostasis. Homeostasis, when your body is in perfect working order. It could have an acid-base imbalance, but when it starts to heal from whatever it went through, it could be your electrolytes are off, but whatever, you're getting into homeostasis. And this is what you guys get into. Your relationship is getting to a form of homeostasis, but it's not good for you because this person they're not good for you. They're not out for your good. They're evil. And a lot of times you were up here, so they had to falsify and wear a mask to get to your level and falsify it with wearing somebody else's energy. But then when they connect with you, they bring you down a little and put them on a level more like their own. And when you're a visitor in a city that you know nothing about, you are more susceptible to it's easier for you to get robbed or cheated out of something or stolen from, because you could become a victim to a place that you're unfamiliar with. And when the narcissist grabs you, takes you down to their vibrational level, it's very similar to you being in some country that you're not familiar with, and you could be in a wrong place at the wrong time. Now, if you were a citizen of that country and of that city, you would maybe know better. You would know you're in harm's way. But when you're visiting, you wouldn't know, because you're not familiar with the territory. Now, when the narcissist grabs you and pulls you down to their level and to that low vibrational levels, they say when you wake up, you get to the 5th dimension and you're probably along the 3rd or 4th dimension on this vibrational chart. So just follow me. This is the Stephen Hawking's vibrational chart, the astrophysicist of humanity. So they're on the 3rd dimension, which is based on vibrational levels of humanity. And so we're on like the 4th, and when you wake up, you can escalate and grow to the 5th. And it's just like an algorithm, shame and pride and courage and love. And it just keeps going up as you get more free to be your true authentic self and to love and to be in joy instead of in fear. Now, when they get you down to that level, you're in their land. You're in their land. This is their land now. This is their low vibrational land. You came from this land. You know this city. You know this territory. And this territory has good people on it, and you interact with good people on this vibrational level. But when you're on this vibrational level is going to be where you'll find people that take others out. You'll find thieves and robbers and cheaters and liars, master manipulators and sadistic and malignant individuals. You see, this is the streets, prostituting, all of that. So this is that third dimension. This is where they ride, first, second, third dimension. And when they pull you down to that vibrational level, then they can attack you. You can get witchcraft put upon you, and they do these things, y'all. They do incantations. They do all these different things to affect you. Because really, what the narcissist comes to do is to siphon fuel off of you. And not only to siphon fuel off of you, to also become you, remember? So to become you, they have to transfer energy. So there's energy transference that continues to take place, and over time, they first got to get you on their level. But first, they got to fake it and get to your level with somebody else's energy and wearing that mask and fake it. They're in theater. So they get you faking that plateau of vibration because they stole that energy. But then they bring you down to their level. And they get you to love and trust them. They have intercourse with you, and they're doing that on a regular. And then you're starting to open up to them and pour out to them, and you're on that vibrational level. And then they continue to throw and project themselves onto you. That's why they'll call you a liar or the cheater or a defect, and you're no good, and you're worthless and useless, and chip away at your ego and your self-worth, and maybe make fun of your weight or your height or the way you say things, and they'll hit you with backhanded compliments. They can never do right. It's not that they won't tell the truth, they can't. They don't have the tools anymore. They have to steal and fake. And so for them to wear your energy and become you, they have to understand the way you move. So they're always viewing you. They're viewing you when you're not looking. They're viewing you when you're sleeping. They're viewing the way that you move, that you breathe, that you talk, the tones that you sound like, and the laughs that you make, the way your mannerisms are. They're learning all of these things. And then they're projecting onto you and getting you to act in reaction, and opens you up wide open, and it pushes your fuel out because you're like, I want you to understand. Why don't you understand? And you're pushing it out. When you're pushing it out and their negative energy, they're always sucking, it goes whoop, and their negative energy goes into you, and you're believing it. See, once they have you on that negative energy, that low vibration for a long enough time, you're in unfamiliar territory, and it's attacking you all the time as well, because it's almost like you are on Earth and that's where you belong, and now you've been lowered down to Hades. That's not where you belong, and that's like negative energy all the time all around you. So you're getting hit by the narcissist. You're getting hit by the narcissist friends and flying monkeys and family, and everybody that seems to be around the narcissist is also a narcissist. And then you're walking around and you have the same level of vibration of the narcissist. So they flip energy with you, and then you're wearing their energy, and you're believing the lies. And so you're starting to, and they project all of these negative things that they're doing, that they believe they are, and that they're doing to you behind closed doors. And when you accept them, when you apologize for things you didn't do, you shouldn't be around these individuals. At some point, you want to let it go, let that burden go. But it's when you're accepting and apologizing for stuff that you didn't do or somebody doesn't deserve, then that's only negative to you as well. It's you accepting more covenants and contracts for things that you're not supposed to be accepting and being in. And when you start to wear this, and that's why when they come back to hoover you, they will have intercourse with you right away. They will switch that energy right away. And sometimes it would be shorter and shorter as well, because they're getting another boost, another hit. You're getting a hit of trying to help them and getting a hit of being with them, you know, because it feels good because they got you through that hot and that cold and that cognitive dissonance and that cohesive control and all of that. And you need a hit because they got you addicted to these situations of your endocrine system. And oh, it feels good, but there is negative consequences that come along with that. And it keeps you stagnant as well from any growth in your life when you're with them. And they're always planning to defeat you. A lot of times they look for a wound, a childhood wound. And sometimes you're on somewhat of a narc level vibration because you may be going through something. It could be a downtime for you. You could have had deaths, and you could have had divorces, and you could have, lost financial gains, and all these things that pull you down to that narc level. And then they place fear and anxiety and paranoia and all these things that they can place into you, and they get you ruminating on them. And they're wearing your energy and you're wearing their energy, and you're connected to each other with spiritual cords, energetic cords. And then you're having intercourse with them maybe every now and then, just and they're projecting onto you more and more. And so when they come back and do that more and more, and now you're beat down. You were beat down last cycle. They come back for cycle 2 and they make sure you stay down. And if you stay down long enough, then you start to believe it in cycle 3. And then in cycle 4, you're even lower. You see, now you're owning it. Now you really think you are who they are. And now they're continuing to siphon off of you. And when this happens, it's very powerful. Because if you continue to do cycles with them, they're going to continue to draw off your traits and all of you, your soul energy, and they will energetically be walking out there and being you. And now they're totally in your energy, and they're performing evil with it. So they can really mess up your emotions, because that stuff's still attached to you in some ways. And then you are wearing energy that they're attached to in some ways as well. So you're kind of looking like them in the spirit realm, and they're looking like you in the spirit realm. So they're outperforming all these negative things on people and destroying people with your energy. And you feel like them, and you're trying to burn off negative energy. So what you're doing is you're popping off on people. You might be upset and angry with people. You might even start to rage out, or you might say things you wouldn't normally say and get in situations that you don't need to be in, you wouldn't normally be in. You might spend money and be frivolous where you wouldn't be before, but now you're wearing all this negative energy and you're starting to operate and act like them. And so when you're doing these things, now you're also starting to get defeated. You're defeating more of yourself by making all these bad decisions, getting yourself in arguments and pulling yourself down more. Now you're in fear because, man, you're having all these bad things happen to you and you don't know which way they're going to come at you. So now you're getting paranoid. Now you're going to isolate. And isolating is good when you're healing and you're away from toxicity. But then when you're starting to isolate and then you're having the narcissist come back every now and then and beat you down some more, and you have nobody else to talk to and confide in. And if you do, the narcissist got all their flying monkeys, friends and family, and then you got your own family and friends that have been toxic in your life, and they're all coming around. So they're not going to give you any good advice. And this is how it gets worse and worse and worse. And then you wonder decade out, 2 decades out, why you don't even know who you are. Why you're getting autoimmune diseases. Why everything is failing. And you're trying to do the right thing. It could come down to just the fact that you are in covenant and trying to heal somebody because you were groomed to do that, are in a state of destruction and stealing, taking, and negative reciprocity at all times. Siphoning off you at all times, all of your fruit. And that's how it works, y'all. So if you can give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up, I'll love you all till next time. Soul Joe. Peace be out.